it because we're waiting for these high tech, fancy quantum computers to let us know if we could bring you the med beds or not. So this is a real sticky subject, but I'd like to know your opinion because I say they're not going to disclose anything unless they're bringing a cure to save the people that are still sick from this shot. They're not going to disclose anything because how could they possibly? They'll have a war because you can't tell. God knows we don't know how many people really took it, SG, but enough people that they're going to be like, oh, you murdered me? Oh, okay. Well, now you have a war on your hands. Nope, no more Jasara. So something doesn't make sense to me because I know it's hurting people. I know people die from it. I know that they're dying right after the next day, like firsthand friends, close friend knowledge. So what do you think? You think they're ever going to tell the truth about this vaccine?
I do, and I'm not sure how that disclosure is going to come, but let me give you my lens based on some of the research I've put out there. We've got a coalition right now all around the world, military and civilian, that are working towards this crimes against humanity topic, right? This biological terrorism, sort of like some sort of epic apex of completion for this justice, this, excuse me, this crime that's been committed around the world. As all of those cogs and all of those wheels have been turning and churning over these last couple of years, we have being introduced to the public space in a pretty rapid fashion these ideas that are not necessarily originating from military publicly, but they may have originated from conditions put in place in countries around the world by militaries. And so what do we mean by that? Well, we mean the expediting of certain legal cases, the expedited review of certain clinical studies, which is happening in Europe a lot right now. And a lot of these studies focused on or are focused on the efficacy, the safety profiles of these vaccines. We're really making this public record and public knowledge, but it's just not getting a lot of attention. We're sort of in a race against the clock, right? We're getting as many people into the fold. We're getting as far along in that process as we can before we end up having to drop certain big hammers moving forward. Big pharma's coming down. And when that happens, we're going to have a complete restructuring of certain areas in healthcare just because of the prescription drugs, the ability to maintain prescription drugs and supply chains like that, moving forward. Based on the things that I've seen, it really looks like over these last few years, we've had a lot of breakthrough progress with certain healing technologies that are getting a lot of traction here in North America and in Europe that are outside of the med beds. They're based on very similar sort of quantum atomic technology and theory, right? But they're more scalar focused. You have the EE system with Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. There's a few others that are like that are around in these developed nations that are capable of wiping out these spike proteins. In addition, we've got a lot of naturopaths that are now getting some serious notoriety in the public space where they've been censored and shut down before. And they're bringing to the public awareness things like various mushrooms that reduce poisons and toxins in the body. Cumin seed, I've heard, is one of the most remarkable. Black cumin seed is one of the most remarkable anti-inflammatories, and it does wipe out spike proteins. We've got a host of other stuff that I can't recall right off the top of my head, but it's all sort of in that same vein. And so as we've got this narrative shift and this information war that has happened in real time, this counterinsurgency for the consciousness and the belief systems of mankind, what we're seeing simultaneously are the promotion, I guess, or the focus, the renewed focus, if we will, on options to help save humanity with these things. We have Tesla technology, excuse me, that's being researched by various pharmaceutical firms that are not tied directly to, or not pharmaceutical firms, research firms that are not tied directly to big pharma. We've got medical colleges in various places